Want to wow your guests at your next get-together? This recipe is sure to knock their socks off. I'm Christina from It Is a Keeper. I share tried and true recipes that anyone can make. I believe if you can read, you can cook. Today I'm showing you how to make Veal Marsala Meatball Bites. These bite-sized morsels taste just like your favorite restaurant dish on a little stick. And who doesn't love to eat food on a stick? So while this video is sponsored by Veal Discover Delicious, funded by beef farmers and ranchers, you know I only share products and ingredients that I use and love. So be sure to grab the full printable recipe in the video description below. So the first thing we need to do to make our Veal Marsala Meatball Bites is to make a panade. And a panade is really just a mixture of breadcrumbs and liquid. So in this case, we're using Panko breadcrumbs. So I'm just gonna pour those into the bowl, and a little bit of milk. So we'll just get that going. We're gonna let it hang out for a minute or so until the breadcrumbs have softened and almost formed like a little bit of a paste. Okay, so our panade has been working here for a few minutes. It's gotten softer. It's absorbed that milk, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we're going to start building our meatball mixture right in here. So I'm going to add a pound of ground veal. And you can usually find this right in the meat department at your grocery store. And then to that, we're going to add grated Parmesan cheese. I like to freshly grate my own, but you can use the stuff in the bottle. No judgment here at all. We're going to add an egg. We're going to add some chopped parsley. And last but not least, we're going to add some all-purpose seasoning blend. I'll share the recipe for this in the show notes. You need to season it up. You could also use salt and pepper, but this has some extra flavorings in there that just take it a little bit further. And then we're gonna get in with our hands and we're gonna mix this together. And you wanna do it just until the mixture starts coming together. You don't wanna overmix it and make a tough meatball. I love playing with my food. So for this next part, forming our meatballs, we wanna make little tiny bite-sized meatballs. We don't want those big old jabronis that you would serve alongside of your pasta. We want smaller ones that we can put on a skewer and just pop in as a single bite. So I like to use a scoop for this because I can ensure that my meatballs will all be the same shape. So I have this scoop and we're just going to form our meatballs and we're gonna line them up on a parchment lined baking sheet. Now I like to use parchment lined sheets because it makes cleanup easier, nothing sticks. It's great, it's a good cook's best friend. Right up there with meat thermometers in my opinion. So veal is a great protein packed meat. I love using it because it has 21 grams of protein. It's high in selenium and choline for energy. It's great brain food. Plus it's a really versatile flavor, so it goes with just about anything that you pair it with. It takes on that flavor. So I just love it as a protein to use. It's such a delicate protein flavor-wise. Okay, so I have our meatballs all rolled out here. We're going to pop them under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes just to get some color on them. They're going to finish cooking in our marsala sauce. So this is just step one. So while our meatballs are broiling, we're going to work on our mushrooms. So here I have some mushrooms and we want to clean them. You don't want to use them just fresh out of the package. You want to wipe off any excess dirt or grit that you see. So I just like to use a paper towel and wipe them off. So I did the rest of them. I just have this one little guy to finish here. It's amazing how much dirt comes off of them. Okay, so once they're cleaned, we want to slice them. So I like to take just a little bit off the edge, set that aside. And then we're gonna slice them into maybe about 1/4 inch slices. And I'm just setting those edges aside because I don't think I'm going to use them. Those are the cook's snack if you like mushrooms. And we don't want mushrooms that are too big, because remember, this is a bite-sized dish. So we want them to be able to be maybe about the same size as our meatballs. So actually, this might be good. The smart me would have counted how many meatballs we had. I'm gonna slide these over here. And we're going to get our skillet ready. Okay, so our timer just went off on our meatballs. I'm going to grab those out of the oven and set them behind me. They can just hang out there while we start building our sauce. Okay, we're gonna let the meatballs hang out back there. And in the meantime, we're going to get our mushrooms cooked and start building the sauce. It's gonna take a minute for this to heat up. I'm just gonna add a drizzle of olive oil and wait. Alrighty, our pan is getting warm. I'm going to add our mushrooms in a single layer here. We just want to get a little bit of color on them, start softening them up a bit. Okay, our mushrooms are moving along here. I'm just going to go ahead and give them a flip. Remember, we just want them softened. I'm going to come along. Just get them all flipped over. We're gonna need about another 30 seconds. You can kind of feel the texture with your spatula. Okay, these are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the skillet. Okay, same skillet here. We are going to add a shallot. So I finally minced up a shallot. We're gonna add that. And a shallot is really just a milder onion. I love using them because they don't have that hard bite of an onion. They're a little milder, but yet you get wonderful flavor from them. So I just minced it up finely because it's going to be in our sauce. We're gonna cook it for maybe a minute or two just till it gets softened. Okay, these are starting to look good. And you'll notice that when shallots are getting translucent, they start to lose their pinky purple color. So these are looking good. We don't want to get a lot of any brown on them. We just want them to get translucent. So that's good. We're gonna add a little bit more olive oil in here because we're gonna start making a roux. And a roux is just a fat and a flour. So I have the olive oil. I'm gonna add some all-purpose flour there. And we're gonna whisk that together until a paste forms. This is what's going to thicken our marsala sauce. All right. Now, here's my favorite way to make marsala sauce. I like to use a combination of marsala wine, and I use the good stuff. I go to the liquor store and I get the good stuff. I'm gonna use about a half a cup here of marsala wine. And then I also use a half a cup of dry sherry. I just like the way the flavor of the two comes together. I think it adds a little more complexity to the recipe rather than just straight marsala. And of course, oh, you guys, I love this. We need to season our sauce, so I'm gonna add some of my all-purpose seasoning blend in here. Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna give this a whisk, and you'll see how that roux that we made starts to thicken everything up. We're gonna let it simmer until the alcohol cooks off and it's thickened slightly here. You can already see it's starting to thicken nicely. So now what we're gonna do is assemble our meatballs and get them in the sauce. Okay, so we're just going to get our meatballs transferred into the sauce. We're gonna let them hang out and cook here for a little bit. They need to finish cooking through. The broiler got them most of the way there. The sauce is gonna take them over the home stretch. Plus they're gonna absorb all that marsala-y flavor. Yum, yum, yum. So we're gonna let these hang out. Our sauce is gonna thicken up while they're hanging out. The meatballs are gonna cook through, and then we're gonna put them together. All right, I think our meatballs are just about done. I'm just gonna give them a quick temp. Best kitchen tool is a meat thermometer. We're gonna make sure our meat is cooked properly. We're looking for an internal temp of 165, and I believe we are there. Just gonna check a couple more, perfect. And turn the heat off. And we're gonna begin assembling our meatballs. All right, it's time to start assembling our skewers. So I just have a toothpick here. We're gonna add a meatball, push it up a little bit, stick it onto a mushroom, and line it up on your platter. Hopefully they don't tip over. And I'm just gonna repeat this process 27 more times. Last step here, we're going to drizzle on some of our leftover sauce right over the meatballs. Give them a little bit of sauce to lay into. There we go. Get a little more out here. Probably should not have used a slotted spoon for this. Don't be like me. Okay. And then we will add just a tiny pinch of parsley for some color. Oh yeah, these are looking good. I'm gonna come in and clean up my platter a little bit, and then we are digging into these little bad boys. Oh wow, I wish you could just smell these. I love Marsala sauce, and it is like coming on hot and heavy here. I can't wait a second more to give these a try. Now, if you want to try something different rather than skewers, maybe pop them on a slider roll and have a veal marsala slider. Oh my gosh. The meatballs are so tender. And the marsala sauce, it definitely has the complexity from the marsala wine and the sherry mixed together. It just gives it that deeper flavor. You guys, these bites are definitely a keeper. I think you'll love them. There are so many great veal recipes out there. I have an incredible veal crescent taco ring recipe that will also impress your family and friends. You don't want to miss it. You can check it out here. I'll see you over there.